One second. Give me my chat monitor. Whoop, up, whoop, up. All right, chat monitor is up. Okay. Okay. So, gonna make sure that the volume is good here because this is like, I don't know. It's just this. Yeah. Oh, that's satisfactory to me. All right. Well. All right. Let's address the elephant in the room before today's stream begins. I am clean shaven. Ish. It's been a few days, so it's starting to grow back already. It was not a lost bet. It's not permanent. It does not mean I am dying. It was that I wanted to trim the sides of my beard where I had some split ends, and I think they went to like here, so I went to like here, and I was like, that's too narrow. So then I got rid of that, and then I was like, oh, just mustache, and I wasn't feeling just mustache this time, so I said, nah, whatever, and I just shaved it all off. So that's where I'm at. Hello. So this stream is much the same as last year's stream, and I'm in fact keeping the same structure to this. So last year I did a recap and plan stream for recapping how 2024 went and talking about how 2025 was going to go, like that, what my plans were for it. I initially was inspired by Alfred because he did a stream like this, last year as well, and I thought it was a really cool idea, and so I yoinked it. But I'm doing it again this year. I don't know if he did one this year, or if he's planning to, but I wanted to do one again this year just because I really liked it. I thought it was a fun thing. It was fun going back through because I just made this PowerPoint off of the bones of the last one, and just going through and like seeing how things had gone and whatnot. It was fun. So without further ado, let's start getting into it. So let's get into the structure of this. Part 1, we will be reviewing. Part 2, we'll be talking about how I'm feeling, how I'm doing. Part 3, we'll be talking about my goals for this, 2026 year. 4, we'll be talking about changes you can expect to what I do compared to the previous year. And then 5, I'm just going to be throwing in some extra fun little life updates or, just ideas of things that I've been doing that I, have at some points talked about, but I wanted to like kind of just more directly speak to. So starting with 2025 in review. This year we had 19 new subs, which is admittedly less than 2025. We had 21, but that's like 2 less. I don't care. That's pretty good. Which the year before that, 2024, was like 13 or something, so that's not too bad. We did 81 live streams. I'm also hoping that everything here is good animation wise. I did not have as much time to review those. But yeah, I did 81 live streams, which is 12 more than the previous year. The previous year I had 69 live streams. So that's wild. I did not feel like I did more. I was honestly thinking I had done less with like the number of times that I just couldn't do a stream for whatever reason. But no, I was actually more consistent with it. I had less times that I just was too exhausted and said I'm not doing one, I guess. And we also had 9 videos on the channel. Technically 10. So listen, and I did start referencing the technically 10. There's one video that I uploaded that was just like a clip that I captured of Xenoblade Chronicles X that I shared exclusively through Discord. It's an unlisted video on my channel, so you can only see it if you saw me share it via Discord. But yeah, there were 9 videos. Technically, most of those were just like different clips from the Nintendo Switch experience in New York, but then there was that whole video just talking about that experience. There was also the video that was my Pokemon Shield Wonderlock, the final highlight video, which is ridiculously long. I probably should have trimmed more fat on that, but it is what it is. But as far as art went, it's funny, I felt like I made a lot, but I actually made genuinely so much less sprites this year. And that's not a hugely bad thing necessarily. It was just like I didn't have as many like structured things for it. And then also a lot of it boiled down to just different games and stuff. Switch 2 came out, so I was playing a lot of new games throughout the year. And that obviously eats up time that I would have spent making art, but this is my little art versus artist for 2024. So you can see like the top row there, those are all things in that recent batch of like Fakemon designs I've been doing for like the Monster Tamer real-time strategy concept that I have. If you follow my Blue Sky, you see those posts when the art is done. But then that middle row is entirely just Kirby Air Riders, because I made so many of my machines in that game. And I just put 2 of the ones that I really liked how they came out right there. And then that bottom row is different things from, so, you know, I talked about this a lot more in the past, but when I was in college, my friends and I were working on like a Fakemon project that was themed around our college for the most part. And so you would often see, you know, sprites from it on here, or sprites that I'd touched up. Well, that game is back in development more recently, just kind of kicked back up. And now I've been doing more touch-ups of existing sprites and things like that. And so the sprites that you see there are ones that have long been in my queue to look at. And by long, I mean like literally since probably 2021, 2022 maybe. So it felt good to actually touch those again and work on them. But yeah, so that's kind of where I've been at as far as this past year goes. But now let's look at where I'm at right now. Thankfully, and I kind of alluded to this with you know, that mention that I did more streams in 2025 than I did in 2024, and that was probably connected to just not being as tired. I'm not as IRL tired. A lot of things have been a lot easier towards the end of this past year. It was a very light end of year, which is kind of normal. It's pretty rare for my job to pick up end of year, but we actually have more staff. My job, there were originally 2 people doing it. There was me and one other person. That's changed a couple times just as people would get promoted or whatever. But there were, you know, just 2 of us, but now there's 3, which makes things a lot nicer on that end. So IRL stuff, I'm feeling pretty good. As far as content stuff, I'm still a little burnt out, partially still missing that variety that I had back in 2020, but at the same time, it's kind of difficult, which I'll talk more about, but yeah, it's kind of where I'm at still with this. But also, be careful with the spam. It's a little a little much, but I do appreciate that you're excitedly in chat. But anyways, continuing where I'm at here. I'm still out of shape, but I am working on it though. I actually am genuinely working on getting more in shape. I don't know how much of that's going to be actively working out, you know? But I am, right, that's, no. I am reading, but that is, be more respectful in chat. You're going on timeout. If you want to be mentioned and you want to be mentioned positively, be chill. It's that simple. It's pretty easy. Don't be rude in chat, especially not to me. Number 1 rule. But anyways, I am working on getting more in shape. I don't think I've mentioned this, but effectively, my weight has, fluctuated over time, obviously. If you've been around on the channel for a long time, you'll know I'm about where I've been in the past at times, but there's other times that I've lost a decent amount of weight. With this most recent weight gain, it's been pretty prolonged. It's been a slow gain, but it's been a prolonged time being overweight, and it's starting to stress my liver out, which is not good. Yeah, like I did some blood tests, and it showed that my liver is being strained, which is likely just super early signs of fatty liver disease. And my understanding is that early on, it's not the end of the world. Literally, this isn't even something that my doctor is super worried about. He's he was literally yeah, we'll do another check before your next physical in a year. Because we did the test after my physical, towards the end of this past year. So it's not a hugely concerning thing. I'm not dying. I said that at the start of the stream. I maintain that. But it is, I don't know, it's intimidating. It is a scary thought that my weight is actually starting to have negative impacts on my body. I can't just do whatever, but I mean, it always did. It always does. So I'm just working to kind of get my diet back under control, and kind of lose some of that weight, which that's most of what I did when I lost weight during COVID. Was I just controlled my eating habits, and just over time I got looser and looser with it. But I'm trying to try to have that some consistency with it and maintain the healthier eating habits. Getting less junk food snacks at work, and if I get something at work, it's going to be a vegetable to add to my lunch, or maybe it is just a lunch, but usually that's a nice sandwich with some lettuce and stuff. Trying to eat more things like nuts as a snack, almonds especially. I love cashews. I don't like almonds nearly as much, but cashews are a little much. They're very fatty. But almonds are good in fiber and stuff. I've been trying to eat more fiber, honestly. Oatmeal, almonds, different, different use cases for some of those things. But just overall, trying to have a bit healthier of a diet, which I will say, the holidays have slowed this and kind of fluctuated it a bit more, but before the holidays I was down like 10 pounds from that over the course of like a month, which that is fast, trust me. Like, that's not necessarily healthy, but if I start eating a normal amount of food, that's my body quickly hits a calorie deficit and just starts dissipating weight. But yeah, so that's a big thing for me right now. I don't want to ramble on it for too long, but definitely working to get more in shape. I know last year I mentioned that I might use the gym that's at my office, and I've considered it, and I did sign up for it. It's free because I work there, but the biggest hurdle is just like, it would mean that I would have to bring like a change of clothes to work and a different pair of shoes because I don't wear sneakers to work. I wear dress shoes. And so it's like, I don't know. It could be nice, but I am hesitant. Possibly I might get more of a nudge in the future, but for now I'm still a little hesitant on doing that. But at the very least, I'm focused on just eating healthier, because that's the biggest thing. Don't believe anyone who tells you working out is the biggest thing. It's good for you, don't get me wrong, but it's not the biggest thing in like weight loss. But anyways, I'm ready for a break from new games. I played oh, you know what, those are normally set to after, but that's fine, whatever. Animations are a little scuffed. October through December, I had 6 games that I got in that time. You can see on this screen like a photo of my stack of physical games, which I have right here. That's the stack. Yeah. This is every physical Switch 2 game I got this year since June. It's only 7. 6 of them. Yeah, 6 of these physical releases were October through December. Legends ZA was October. 2 weeks after that was Hyrule Warriors. 2 weeks after that was Kirby Air Riders in November. 2 weeks after that was Metroid Prime 4, also in November. And then, or no, Metroid Prime 4 might have been early December, right? I think it was early December. But like, there's all that, and then we went to my in-laws to celebrate Christmas with them, which is one of the weekends I couldn't stream, and I got Cyberpunk from my mother-in-law, which I greatly appreciate. I have been having a blast with it. And then Yooka-Laylee got a physical release on Switch 2 semi-recently, and so that, you know, is also there. I haven't played it yet. I've been playing Cyberpunk. I usually dedicate my time to one game at a time. But Switch 2 games starting next year, not a lot for me. So I'm excited that I have a time to kind of take a breather and catch up on finishing Cyberpunk and then starting Yooka-Laylee. I don't know that I'm gonna beat Yooka-Laylee. I wanted to support it because I support indies that put their games in a full physical cartridge strongly, and it excites me when I see that, and I want to support that. So I picked it up just because Playtonic did go out of their way to put this on a full physical cart. Right now, those physical carts are 64 gigabytes. That's pretty big. I don't know that Yooka-Laylee needs 64 gigabytes. I don't know how large the file size is total on Switch 2, but that's impressive that they went out of their way to get the more expensive option because they support that. And so I want to support that as well. If I see other indies from companies that I care about making a limited physical release or a full physical release on Switch 2, expect to see me get those as well. Even if they're not necessarily in my genre interests, I do want to support that. I do love that. So yeah, that's where that is. But anyways, moving on, looking at this year, What are my goals for 2026? So goal number 1 is actually the same as last year's goal of hitting 300. I knew for a fact that was a long shot, but who knows with this year? I'm only 25 away. If we get just a little bit more in new subs than we had this year or the year before, that's 300. So who knows? I'd also love to have more edited videos. I still often find it hard to find the time to go and do that. But it was really fun. It was really fun getting to do the, Nintendo Switch 2 experience video. Because obviously, we uploaded the same day all of the videos that Gwen took for me or that I took for her. All of that was uploaded straight to the channel as soon as we got back to the hotel. But as far as the actual edited videos go, we, I had that one at the start of the year, and I had the one that was like the full review of the Switch 2 experience, where it was just Gwen and I talking about our thoughts. And that was really fun to go through and edit and pull footage from, our playtime. If I felt like the footage might be topical, I could pull that in here and there. But I don't know, it was fun. I enjoyed doing that. It's just finding the time. That one was a little easier because it was Gwen and I both. So it was easy enough for both of us to sit down and talk. It still took us a little while to find the time, but once we had the time, just the two of us sitting there talking about it was really easy. And then I had to go through and edit the audio and all that, and then edit together the video. But it was fun. I love doing that. That's my passion on YouTube. If I was to make content if I was to only make content that I watch, I would be doing a lot more video essays. I would be doing Let's Plays instead of streaming. I'd maybe do some sketches. But obviously, that is a very involved process. Part of the reason I do live streaming, and this, I don't mean to say this in a way that is live streaming is easy. Live streaming is low effort. But live streaming, I don't have to worry as much about my quality. As long as my microphone is good enough, as long as my video feed is good enough, that makes me happy and content with where it is. But if I was doing full edited content with video essays, I would want my production value to be higher, and I just can't feasibly make for a higher production value personally. And so there'd always be that little piece nagging at me for not having had higher production value. But that's just me. But I don't know, you'd probably see a pretty different array of content than what I actually do if I was only making content that I would personally want to watch. And it's funny because I don't tend to watch live streams often, even though I do live stream. And when I do watch live streams, I'm not always super interactive. I do sometimes hop on to the I hope I'm enunciating this correctly, the Hiro Konoki live streams on Twitch. Hiro Super Chill, we have a number of mutual friends. I hope that Hiro considers me a friend as well, because I adore Hiro. Not in a parasocial way. We do know each other IRL. We just don't see each other often, and we started more as mutual friends and met via mutual friends. But I don't know. I always find that when I get to meet friends of my friends, I gravitate quite quickly to them, at least some of them, because obviously if they're friends with my friend, we're probably able to be friends too. But anyways, jumping forward, Next goal, more shorts. I did a lot better with them this year than I did last year. I made a lot leading up to the release of the Switch 2. I don't know, part of me feels like those I can excuse myself not having a super high like high effort, highly edited style for. I don't know. I like when I watch shorts, I watch them if it interests me. Sometimes I'll just be like, nah, I don't care about that, and I'll just carry on. But no, I did actually enjoy doing those shorts early in the year. It always comes down to, I'm like, I don't know what to make. I don't know what short to do. But I did like just using shorts to just talk about little things that came up or that I was excited about. So that is something that I think I do want to do more, is use shorts. I mean, I used a short to announce the results of the charity stream, all that. But I also do want to do more themed content. Hit that mic. I want to do more themed content. I said this last year as well, and I still maintain it. I still enjoy doing the Games I Love series. I feel like it's going to get hard because as time goes on, I feel like I'm going to run out of 4 games to do in the months as like my off day streams. But I do really love doing that. It's really fun to be able to highlight some of my favorite games that I've gotten to play. I was able to highlight Cassette Beasts. Unfortunately, right before the Switch 2 cannot handle the game because it is so heavily screwed with to work well on Switch 1 that the emulation the Switch 2 does can't even brute force it. It's so hacky and weird how they made it run as good as they did that it just doesn't work nicely. Last I heard, they still want to do a Switch 2 version at some point. So if that ever comes out, or once that comes out, highly recommend that. But for now, I don't recommend playing Cassette Beasts on Switch 2. But if you have a Switch 1, or if you want to play it on a PC or another console, I believe it's also on PlayStation, probably Xbox, please check out Cassette Beasts. I adore that game. But no, I definitely want to make more Games I Love in February. And I considered doing themed content for October. I ran into the hurdle of how I wanted to theme it. If I just wanted to do spooky games with like a Halloween vibe, or if I wanted to bring back DurchBurch plays, which I did way back in like my first full year making content when I was a freshman in college. I did a series where I would be consumed by this like fedora neckbeard demon thing and play spooky games. But that was also like, it starts in October, but I didn't come up with it in time to do it in like a quick and fun way, so it was disappointing in the end for me personally. But it was interesting because I played a bunch of games that I wouldn't normally play, and I was playing them as a character, which I'm not usually into playing horror games, so playing in character kind of helped. It gave me that bravery I needed to move forward. But I don't know. I think doing some, Halloween-y content at some point would be really fun. I just have to figure out how I would want to do that before I do. Other themes, I can't think of super clearly right now, but I will argue I had a second theme in 2025. I had the Switch 2 streams, the launch week. I had launch day where I just played a bunch of different things. I had my second one the following day where I played Bowser's Fury in its entirety, but the Switch 2 version at a nice stable 60. And then on the third day I did Mario Kart World. So I would argue I would count that as like a few days of themed content. So I did do that, and that was fun, but I would like to do more, and obviously I can't repeat switch to launch week, but in 2026, like it's too late now. That's not happening. But I would love to do, again, more themed content. I just would need to think more on what that is and actually commit to doing it. Other goals for 2026. This one I also mentioned last year, actually doing something with Stomon, which literally this is the most anyone has seen about Stomon, except for like me and some friends. It all boils down to I struggle to talk to people. I am a shy, awkward, autistic man. I know they won't bite, but it sometimes is a little difficult for me to broach subjects and stuff like that. But like, again, I have people in mind. I had plans to do this, and I would still like to. So expect to see something relating to Stomon at some point this year, probably on my Blue Sky. Maybe if I do decide to make content out of it, it might come as a pre-recorded video. I'm less sure if I would want to do that because I feel like that would really slow my pace. But I know that something I do want to continue working on is my Monster Tamer RTS concept that I've been working on. I find that a lot easier because I don't have to talk to people. I just sit there and go, what's a thing that has metal? Oh, a slag. Slag has metal. Okay, I could do some metallum ignis refinery things. I don't know. It's a lot easier for me to do that. I don't have to involve others. I would also like to do another charity stream, which I messed up the animation on that, but whatever. I flubbed another animation. I would love to do another charity stream. I definitely enjoyed doing the one that I did for Need this year, but I did mess up certain parts of it. Primarily, I reached out to them just way too late, and I technically didn't get their blessing before I did it, but my friends convinced me that, well, at the end of the day, I think they're going to just be happy to have received a donation. So that that was the case. But I don't know, because I reached out to them so late, I didn't have a lot of time to prep as much research as I would have wanted to do. And so I found myself just like repeating the same talking points, which, to be fair, there's only so many talking points you can do, and it's good to repeat them because, you know, as people come in and out of the stream, that might be their first time hearing those talking points. But I definitely wanted to do that a little better than I did. And then also, because it was a 24-hour live stream, I found out the hard way, YouTube doesn't typically keep the VOD of a 24-hour live stream. You live and you learn. Apparently, normally they won't keep a VOD over 12 hours. So if I do a stream next year and I want to keep the charity stream available for people to view after the fact, I will have to make it less than 24 hours or break it into pieces by like stopping and starting the stream. So unfortunately, the charity stream for Need is gone. It's in the internet ether, but it was still really fun to do, and it felt great doing it. You can still see the shorts about it coming up, and then after it was done, but the stream itself is lost to time. But I'd also like to do more commissions. I did 2 commissions this year with 4 Dozen Eggs, my close friend and wonderful artist who he did my Pokemon X randomized Nuzlocke final artwork, and he did my Mariomon playthrough final team artwork, and I love those so much. Like, they're literally like my computer, they are my desktop backgrounds. I have it cycling between those two, and as I do more series and I commission him more for things like that, And even if it's not just him, but like as a commission people for things like that, hopefully he gets like a wonderful job at some point and just doesn't have the time to take my comms. I would love that for him. And then I can commission someone else and spread the love a bit. Those pieces are awesome, and I love just every time I look at them, it brings back wonderful memories of those teams, and I get really sentimental, and it's nice. I'm a sentimental guy, and so seeing reminders on the regular of stream series that I had a lot of fun with, it just feels good. So I definitely want to do more comms if I can. Obviously they cost money. They are commissions after all, but I would love to be able to just get more comms. But anyways, other goals for 2026. I know I mentioned this. I'm working on it, getting more in shape. Kind of have to. So, gonna do my best to actually do that. I already rambled enough along that line earlier, so I'm not going to address it too much more here, but I will talk about how I do want to do more collaborations. I know I said that and then I didn't do any, but it's fine. It's the biggest thing is now YouTube has those collaboration video types where I could upload a video and you can directly see the collaborators' channels credited as collaborators, and it would say like, oh, this is from DurchBurch and blah blah blah. So I would love to do some collaborations. It's part of the reason I was thinking about maybe making Stomon into this like pre-recorded content that I can share on the channel, because then I can make it a collaboration with whoever I'm making the Stomon for. And yes, this is the same thumbnail I used last year as my collaboration example. And it's funny because I did want to do a Stomon of my oldest brother's channel, but he's been, for the most part, not streaming as much anymore. And he does still upload some things to his channel, but it's mostly just like clips and stuff like that from games he's been playing, so he can share them with friends and family. But yeah, he just hasn't been actively streaming or anything, just hasn't had time, which completely understandable. And it's a mixture of time and motivation. He tends to be a hobbyist. He's a serial hobby haver. And he tends to go from hobby to hobby to hobby to hobby to hobby. Like literally, like he was making content and then he stopped streaming as much and switched to playing semi-professionally on a Quidditch Champions team when that game came out. And now he's like growing different like edible mushrooms and stuff like that, like shiitakes and probably portobello mushrooms and all those different ones, just because he found it it's really easy and like you can propagate them from stock that you buy at a store. So like literally, like he buys a shiitake mushroom at the store he works at, and then he can grow it at home. In the past he'd had things like ants as hobbies, so like this is kind of right up his alley as like a natural thing. But in this case, he can eat it. It's food, and you can get a lot of mushrooms out of that. So that's kind of been his newest hobby. So not as much on the content side, but if he ever comes back, I can always do a Stomon for him then. But I might have to find a different, I wanted him to be one of my starters. I might have to find a different person to be that starter, but that's okay. He comes in and he goes out, with the different things he's doing. But anyways, let's talk about some changes that you can expect in 2026. So I'm going to start with one that was from last year. I still want to have less easy content, and I am still using Overwatch 2 as the example of that. At the same time, though, as I say here, it's hard. I don't always know what game I would want to do that isn't just Overwatch or those like easy content games. You know, there's part of me that's like, maybe I could make an easier solution where like maybe I have a stream type that, you know, maybe I do just like an IRL stream where I'm just talking like this about stuff. Maybe I go and I make like a wheel that picks a game at random. I don't know. Part of the difficulty though is with me streaming only twice a week, Overwatch is a really good one to do because I have to play the game when I'm playing it a lot. Generally speaking, like I have a battle pass and I'm trying to, you know, get my money's worth and complete the pass. So like that all boils down to it being like the thing I want to do when it comes to those like Wednesday off day streams. That said, I think, you know, obviously we have an update to Animal Crossing coming soon with Switch 2 specific stuff. I might be doing some Animal Crossing streams again. I might be, you know, fiddling with that. I don't know. I do some really poorly played Age of Empires ones. I don't know. I don't think I want to do RTS ones because I just don't tend to talk during them. But between those or like maybe more art streams, I'm hoping to be able to find some ways to better balance the types of streams that I'm doing, the types of content I'm making, just to mix things up and have, you know, less of that easy content. One thing I've been considering is maybe just outright having a thing that's like, I pick a game that's on NSO at random, and I just have to pick up that game and try to figure it out and play it for the duration of stream. That could be fun. It could make me experiment with a bunch of games I wouldn't normally play. But anyways, let's talk about some extra bits. So I mentioned this earlier. My old Fakemon project, inspired by my college, is back and running again. I don't want to talk too much about why. Just, screw it. I guess it's not. I don't know why I was like, I should be all cagey with this. No, it's just one of my friends that was like the other co-producer on that project, who's been on this channel before on Board Brains. Mike is in the area, and we've been hanging out more, and just we were reminiscing over old ones from that, and now we're working on it. So we've been doing a bunch of stuff on that. Again, it's probably not going to be done anytime soon, if it ever is done, but we're just having fun bringing it back. But then I'm also working on my Monster Tamer RTS concept, and I'm trying to name it. It is so hard to come up with a good name, because a lot of real-time strategies that I love have these very formulaic names. I love the Age of Empires series. I love Age of Mythology. Age of blank. Blank of blank. You know? Very easy real-time strategy name, but I feel like it's too referential and not enough of its own identity. StarCraft and Warcraft. I played a lot of StarCraft as a kid, especially StarCraft 2. Something craft. Well, that just sounds like I'm trying to, you know, rip off Blizzard with it. So I'm trying to come up with something that's unique, that I find interesting, and that piques my curiosity. That's probably not going to be named anytime soon, but I do now have a temporary logo. It's not perfect, it's not great, but it has like the colors that I want the logo to focus on primarily in the end. So there's that at least. Other things. I've been writing a lot of reviews for things. I I have letterboxed for movie reviews, and I have a backlogged for game reviews. I've been sharing some of those, but if you want to see the reviews I'm leaving, go check out my letterbox, go check out my backlogged. You can see where I talk about different games that I've been playing on backlogged. I try to review every game I roll credits on for the most part. And similarly with Letterboxd, any movie I watch for the first time. Sometimes movies I watch again I'll review, but usually movies I watch for the first time will go there. I watched through the whole 28 days, weeks, and years later series while I was off work for a little while. It was like I had like a holiday off or something, and so I was like, oh, my dad really liked the 28 Days Later movie, and I should check that out. And then I want to check out weeks, and because I want to check out years, because I've seen a lot of interesting stuff, and I did not expect to love 28 Years Later nearly as much as I did. That was my favorite of the series so far, and I know it's really controversial. But no, I've been enjoying writing those reviews. They're not like heady, deep reviews. I'm not trying to be like this genius critic, and I'm not trying to be highbrow with it at all. Like my reviews are pretty entry level. Like you can just get into them. The only thing is that they often do contain spoilers, but I do usually call out, hey, I'm talking spoilers. But at the very least, you can see like what my thoughts were on movies. Some of my favorites from the last year were, or that I saw within the last year, were like 28 Years Later. Superman, I loved Superman. That was amazing. What a beautiful movie. I'm trying to think of another one that I saw for the first time that I reviewed highly on Letterboxd. I can't remember exactly, but then there were some stinkers. I watched a few Barbie movies during an event that Gwen ran with some of her friends and her sister, kind of inviting just people over to watch those like old animated Barbie movies. They weren't particularly good. I can understand why there'd be nostalgia there, but I did leave some harsh reviews, and my reviews I think were very funny because we were just going movie to movie to movie. So I was just leaving this really quick review. As far as game reviews though, my game reviews on Backlogged are similar. They're not super heady. They are just how I felt about the games. Some of my favorites from the past year that I reviewed. Obviously, I played through Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. That got 9 out of 10 from me. A 4.5 out of 5 stars from me. I played... Yeah, actually, I'll just talk... I'm going to talk my 9 stars and my 10 star. Or my 4.5 and my 5 star. My next 4.5 star game was Kirby Air Riders. I love that game. I adore it so much. It is wonderful. But it is not for everybody. It is the type of game that you will either be like, this is like one of my favorite games of all time, or you will play it and you'll be like, I don't get it. And that's it. It is such a charming and whimsical and fun game. Then Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I also adored that game. It is not the same as Metroid Prime 1 through 3. It is very much its own thing. The writing is not always the best, but it is such a great, cheesy action movie, sci-fi type thing as a game. It feels so much like Aliens to me, which, had this band of different people that were all there, like different, like they were like Marines or something, and they were just very cheesy, and the writing wasn't like super heady or cool or smart. It was just, there's a lot of really cheesy moments and stuff, and it was fun. And that's kind of my mindset on Metroid Prime 4. I thought it was just fun. It was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it a lot. And it's not perfect, and I think some people who love the series really don't like it. Some people who love the series really love it. I love Metroid Prime 1 through 3. 4 is my third favorite game in the series. I think all of them are a 9 out of 10 experience, so this getting 4.5 stars from me, completely expected. And then my one game that got 5 stars from me this year, which you'll never see me give something 5 stars, that I loved it, if that's the case, that was Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, the original game. But on the Switch port, I played that on my Switch 2, which just meant that I was guaranteed getting that 720p maximum dynamic resolution most of the time. The game didn't have frame drops before anyways. But oh my god, what a phenomenal game. I knew going in, people hype that game up so much. But I went into it and I was sucked in. That game is wonderful. Genuinely just like one of the best games I've ever played. One of the most fun and engaging games. I love the story. I love the characters. So good. I would love to see it get a Switch 2 update or a Switch 2 edition that, gives it access to the Switch 2's higher resolution capabilities. I would love to see that beautiful world imagined in 4K or at 60 FPS. Because it is gorgeous and it is fun. And yeah, phenomenal game. But outside of all that, as far as real life updates go, Gwen and I are currently trying to save to potentially buy a house in the near-ish future. Obviously, we'd be taking a loan. We're not just gonna here's your money, son, buy a house. But no, we are planning to start exploring that more this year. I don't know that it's gonna happen this year. I don't know that it's gonna happen immediately in the first place. But we've been saving money for a while. Saving up gifts from family and whatnot, pieces of tax returns and stuff like that. Just where we can, we're pulling in stuff for that. So no idea when that will be necessarily, but eventually, probably, hopefully, within a reasonable amount of time. Hello, Finn. Don't put your ear on my finger, please, sir. He is so baby. Give me him. Give me Mem.
Take a spin.
Give me Mem. Look at him. He's like, I didn't want to be held right now. I didn't want to. I wanted to stay. Here, clamber up. Clamber up, Mimi. Yeah. Yeah, he clambered. Oh, he's so clambered. Hank his booty. Goodbye, Mem. Also, he likes that genuinely. Like, if you see me pat him like that, he's just weird like that. Yeah. That's all the main things I wanted to address with this stream. But here's just a cool thing. I got this amiibo. I've shared it around on social media with like friends and stuff, but I don't think I've shown it off on stream yet. So this is the Kirby Air Riders swappable amiibo. This is genuinely like, it's so cool. I only have one right now. I got it with an Amazon gift card I got for Christmas. I got the I think it's the Wing Glider, the Glide Star, I don't know. Winged Star. This is the Winged Star. I got that, which comes with Banana Waddle Dee. The way this works is really cool. It's just a magnet that just sticks it on. So like if I just take him, he just sits in, like it just clicks in so nicely. This is huge, by the way. Like this is the Samus and Viola amiibo, a large amiibo. and this is the winged star. They are very similar in width, but this one is heftier because this is a solid chunk of plastic here in bandana Waddle Dee, and he's got the his bandana has texture, which is really fun. I love Amiibo. Just I think they're fun to collect, but I think this is just such a cool idea for them. I'm 1000% getting at least the King DDD Tank Star one when that comes out. I am considering getting the Meta Knight one on the Shadow Star, but so cool, so cool. So I got any other things I can show off? I got this cool Triforce puzzle as a Christmas present. This was a stocking stuffer from my mother-in-law. And it's like one of those like metal puzzles that you can, it's a puzzle to take it apart and then it's the puzzle to put it back together. I figured it out in one day, like in one sitting, just bashing my face against it for a while. And I've seen enough of these to know generally, like, the biggest idea is that unlike a lot of puzzles where your goal is to get one and then get the other and then get the other, you can't get all of them at once. You want to kind of get them all at the same time rather than like back to back to back. Like once you have two, you can't get the third. So you have to almost get all three at the same time and then just lock them all together. But this was a cool, fun little thing that I had fun with. Well, that's about it. Yeah, be about exactly an hour. Yeah, expect more streams this year. I'm hoping again to have some more variety and to find some ways to have some more fun with things. Maybe some more pre-recorded content in the form of Snowmon stuff. Hopefully more shorts if I can figure out what the heck shorts I want to do. I might do some stuff tied to things around the Pokemon 30th anniversary. That's coming this February. Presumably on Pokemon Day they're going to have their Pokemon Presents, and that's going to come with a whole bunch of news for the 30th anniversary, presumably the next generation and all that. So I don't know, exciting times. But that's going to be all for today's stream. So thank you so much if you joined me live or after the fact. It's always cool with me as long as you had some fun. That said, I'm going to go do human things as humans do, and you probably should too. I know this one was a little shorter than usual, but so be it. I was just recapping on the past year and talking about what's coming this year. So there's only so much that I can fit into that. Yeah. This is a sub-hour. Wow. All right. I apologize for my face one last time.